Hi, and welcome to Societal Critique. Make sure to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
I want to get into the latest humongous spending bill they're trying to force down everybody's throats. You will not believe some of the things listed and funded in this bill. First of all, the total package is 1.7, that's what a T, trillion dollars. You heard me. The bill itself is 4,500 pages. So they turned in this bill and said, okay, let's hurry up and vote on it. 4,500 pages. You just want to hurry up and ram it down everybody's throats and say, well, we don't want the government to shut down. We got to hurry up and pass this bill. They do this every single time. There are no new tricks with this government. I mean, seriously. It doesn't matter which party. It doesn't matter. They always do it every single time. Like, we got to hurry up and pass this bill with all this pork in it. Don't want you to find out how much fat we put in it. Check out what's in it. $858 billion for defense. $858 billion for defense. What is all that money going toward? Because I know they don't spend enough on veterans. We know that for a fact. Go look at a veterans hospital and tell me I'm lying. Go. Just go pick any random one. This money is not really going to help military families. It's like pulling teeth to settle veterans' claims. So what is $858 billion being used for? I mean, what kind of equipment and gear are you purchasing here? What happened to all that military equipment you left over there in, what is it, Afghanistan? Remember when you left all that equipment there? Is this to replace all of that equipment you left there? $858. You mean because you left all that equipment, which made no sense whatsoever, we gotta repurchase all that stuff, and it's gonna cost $858 billion? Interesting. Next, $45 billion for Ukraine. I'm gonna get into that on another video, but 45, mind you, basically equal up to about $100 billion since March that we would have given to Ukraine. Since March, if this passes, $45 billion for a foreign nation. We will talk about this later.
For you, Team B, and you can ask your embassy.
Now, here's an afterthought they put in there: $38 billion for emergency disasters. Thank you very much. I mean, wow, you actually thought about Americans. Ooh, okay. But oh my goodness, $375 million for a new FBI building. And they say it's to replace the aging J. Edgar Hoover building in DC. The only fight they had was, is it going to be in Maryland or Virginia? There was an argument about that. But check this out. The Government Accountability Office reports that the project will be over $1 billion with a B. So they're asking for $375 million. But they suspect that the project will go over $1 billion for the FBI. Now, isn't everybody complaining about this agency? Isn't everybody complaining about the fact that, oh my gosh, this agency is very highly suspect and they're spying on American citizens and they're causing a bunch of mischief like they always have done? Now that they're affecting Republicans and they feel like their voice is being suppressed, now it's an issue. But apparently it wasn't big enough issue for them not to give them $375 million. So apparently it wasn't that big of an issue. None of them saw a problem with allotting money aside for yet another brand new building for the same agency they're all complaining about. Okay, so whatever. $230 million for border security technology, plus $1.56 billion in border processing funds that can't be used for security. Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that? $1.56 billion with a B in border processing funds that can't be used for security. It says it cannot be used to acquire, maintain, or extend border security technology and capabilities, except for technology and capabilities to improve border patrol 24 processing. What? Y'all, this sounds like we need more money to put up these illegal immigrants in housing. That's what that sounds like. We need more money to give them so they can actually survive here. That's what that sounds like. The bill also offers $340 million for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, for non-detention purposes. That sounds like money they need to babysit the unaccompanied minors that come across the border. That's what that sounds like. This is where your tax money is going. Mind you, $230 million is for the security that they're not using right now. They're not enforcing the border at all. The border's completely out of control. Where's the border czar? Don't you remember? Kamala? She was supposed to be the border czar. She went near the border one time. She deflected all questions that involved that border and actually being there to look at what's happening at the border. And then they realized, oh, this ain't working. Because they know they never meant to enforce the border. $70 million for salmon. As in fish. $65 million will go to Pacific coastal salmon recovery. And $5 million will go to studying the impact of roads and bridges on salmon populations. Child, what in the world? Fish get more care than the homeless people on the street here. We get $575 million for family planning where population growth harms the environment. Now, this is how it's explained. The bill stipulates the money be made available for family planning and reproductive health, including in areas where population growth threatens biodiversity or endangered species. Now, before you're about to say it, the funds are not to be used for abortions. Of course not, because Roe versus Wade was overturned. So you can't use this money for abortion. So what the crap are you talking about? Including in areas where population growth. Population growth is human beings. Okay. Flesh and bone. Gotcha. Threatens biodiversity. That sounds like some trees and some lilies and some roses outside. Or endangered species. That sounds like animals and some crickets. This sounds like money toward not abortions, but some form of medical interventions. And it may be medical interventions, different medical interventions depending on which population you're talking about. Because look at how it's worded. The money is going to be made available for family planning and reproductive health. Now, who are they referring to when they speak about that? They're usually referring to Caucasians. So majority white areas. This is the second part, including areas where population growth threatens biodiversity and endangered species. So one population will have medical interventions that will help you conceive and maintain your pregnancy. And that was probably more than likely the majority white population. And one population will have medical intervention where you have more investment for contraceptives and, Plan B to help limit, your population. And you know what population is that would go to. Where did he put the abortion clinics? Okay? So, it's all in the wording. All in the wording. You heard what it says. I'm just saying from my interpretation and my opinion. That's all. The $65.7 million for international fisheries commissions. Interesting. $2.6 billion for January 6th prosecutions. 2.6? The bill would provide $2.6 billion for U.S. attorneys to further support prosecutions related to the January 6th attack on the Capitol and domestic terrorism cases. $2.6 billion. It takes $2.6 billion. I'm not an attorney, but I tell you what, I know they're going to be very well paid. That's all I know. Now listen to this. $410 million to enhance border security in the Middle East. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Now, how much did they allow for us? That's $410 million for border security in the Middle East, while we get $230 million for our own border. Okay? Their borders. $200 million for the Gender Equity and Equality Action Fund. So, it's an international fund for women's economic empowerment. Okay. A slush fund, but all right. $300 million to prepare for an influenza pandemic. Did y'all hear that? $300 million to prepare for an influenza pandemic. Preparation for a pandemic. That's what it just said. $7.5 billion to study domestic radicalization phenomenon. Now, who is that for? It says the funds are to be used to study strategies for intervention and prevention. $3 million for bee-friendly highways. They're going to plant some plants on the side of highways, y'all, basically. So, okay. Then you got $15.2 million for a jab injury trust fund. That's it. They need far more than that in that trust fund, but okay. And that's what the $1.7 trillion is set aside for. And plus some other silly nonsense, like renaming things to honor them. If you found this informative and you like this content, please make sure to subscribe and like this video and share it. Share the information. If you don't share the video, at least share the information. And please be informed and do your research so you're aware of what is actually happening around us. Thank you guys and have a great day.